5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ready, set, go.
So let's talk a little bit more about movies, you guys, because it's always fantastic and having to have a great and fantastic discussion amongst one another about movies. And today I want to go ahead and do a little bit of review regarding towards another in particular film that I recently watched that I found it to be not highly fascinating, but a very interesting and not at all boring flick that I found to be, you know, one that I thought I was going to be bored about, but unfortunately I actually was okay with it. I mean, I didn't really find anything wrong with it. So let's go ahead and talk about it here, you guys. Serenity. So Serenity is directed by Stephen Knight, and it's starring Matthew McConaughey, who we all know who Matthew McConaughey is. I mean, come on, you guys. He's an Academy Award winner, and I am always excited and happy to see what he has in store for us when we go and watch one of his movies. I always find him to be such a brilliant actor, even though he is not the type of actor who would redefine himself into being to the exact type of character that we're looking towards throughout this movie. Whenever I see Matthew McConaughey, I just see Matthew McConaughey. And to be honest with you, I actually was always looking forward to seeing Matthew McConaughey portray the character of Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. I would love to see that one of these days, but unfortunately, as we all know, that he is getting a little bit more older, so he wouldn't be capable of having to portray that character at all whatsoever. But getting back to the movie here. So not only do we have one Academy Award winner, Matthew McConaughey, in this, we also have another Academy Award winner, Anne Hathaway, who is not a brunette in this. She's a blonde, and she's kind of like that actress, you know, like the type of character that approaches herself in the detective's office, signing him to a job regarded towards her case. It's kind of like that, and she approaches herself towards Matthew McConaughey, who happens to be her ex-husband, and they have a child together, and and then she's going through a complicated time within her life, within her marriage, who she's married to in this movie, played by Jason Clarke. And I actually love Jason Clarke. Jason Clarke is so great. I'm very, very fond of him. I really do love having to see what he is capable of in every film that I ever get to see him in. I think that he is one of the next biggest, best things. And I think it's sad for a little bit because the majority of the cast within this movie is all Academy Award either winners or nominees, but then there's just Jason Clarke, and I find that to be a little bit sad, because I'm like, I think that he does a great job enough to at least have a nomination, but we'll see what happens with him later on. There could be a possibility. I mean, there's still enough time for him to have that legitimate chance of winning an Oscar, or even at least getting nominated. But yeah, I love Jason Clarke. Really great guy. He's a really great actor. I always look forward to seeing what he's capable of within all the films that he either stars or co-stars in. Speaking of Academy Award nominations, we also have Miss Diane Lane, who I believe is a fantastic and beautiful actress. I think that she is always a fantastic to watch, and having to see what she approaches herself as within this movie. But I think that her character in this wasn't really as useful nor important at all. I mean, unless I missed something here, but I honestly don't really find it to be anything at all interesting for her to be part of this. I don't think that the movie would have, it wouldn't feel any different if you were to remove her from the story. But another Academy Award nominator, which is Jaman Housen. I think I pronounced that wrong. I always see the name and I always try to ask myself, how do you pronounce that name? So hopefully I got it right. If not, I mean, I don't even know how. I mean, if you run into me one day and you watch this video, I mean, and if you guys know how to pronounce it, please let me know, because I mean, it's just, it's very complicated to having to pronounce that name, and I apologize, because every time when I see him, I'm like thinking, okay, he's got to have something great in store for us, because I mean, he's kind of like Sam Jackson. You see him almost in every single movie, either Sam Jackson or Morgan Freeman, so on and so forth. I mean, he's pretty much almost in every single movie, so. But I find that his character was, unlike Diane Lane's character, is very important, and I find him to be, you know, a little bit entertaining. I actually liked him in this movie. But let me go ahead and say that this movie is not what you think it is. Okay, and I'm not trying to spoil this here for you, but I think that the movie is a film that, all I can say is it's not what you expect. And according to other critics out there, because I did watch other people's videos, you're welcome, about what you guys thought about the interesting point of view that was determined throughout this movie. A lot of people were very disappointed by it. For me, I didn't find it to be very memorable, but I also found it to be entertaining, and I love on how flicks that portray itself to being one part of the film, and you believe it to be that sort of film all the way to the ending, but once when you get to the ending, you'll find that this film changes. It shifts itself into a completely different film, and most people are not very fond of that. For me, I actually find it very entertaining. I thought it was really great having to know that that this movie had more of an interesting toll to each and every single one of these characters. You know, like Matthew McConaughey, he's really in a very deep, dark situation within his life, and you know, and having to have Anne Hathaway and Jason Clarke, you know, involved into his story, it very much just changes everything around, making it a little bit more, you know. If it was an M. Night Shyamalan film, I mean, it would probably be a little bit more surprising, because he's very good at having to do that type of in particular film. But you know, regarded towards on what other critics say, or even what Rotten Tomatoes gives it, because Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 21%, I actually was okay with it. I mean, like I said, not a very rememberable film. I didn't hate it, but I would say I liked it a little bit more than what people thought it would be like. Like I said, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 21%. For me, I gave it a 59%. Not the best film, not the worst film, but it's okay. It meets around in the middle for me. I think that it was very great to watch. I think that this is a movie that needed to get a little bit more credit for, and it really didn't have any marketing towards it either. I think that's why it really wasn't as successful as people wanted to go out to the theaters and watch it to be. But otherwise, that's my ratings for Serenity. What do you guys think? Did you guys watch it? What did you guys think about the film? I mean, honestly, I very much would like to have a really great, serious, awesome conversation with you guys regarding towards this flick, or any movies that you'd like to talk about in general. And in order to do that, you could always go on both my YouTube and my Facebook page and like and subscribe, so that way we could go ahead and have that awesome conversation with one another. Because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you guys. And as always, I'm Awesome Joe, and stay awesome. Thanks y'all so much, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.